What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over some of my top tips for Schedule 1. This video is going to cover everything from your dealers to setting up your factories and just a bunch of random little things here and there that I think are going to improve your gameplay experience and maybe show you some kind of interesting little things that you didn't know you could do. Alright guys, so for the first tip, it's going to be always upselling your product. Upselling your product is going to make you more money and it's going to allow you to move more product. I know for me personally, when I'm selling like the Granddaddy Perp, I can't be bothered to sell it in anything other than the bricks right now. Like I'll only sell 20 or 40 of it at the same time. Anything else, like I don't have any in jars. I can't really be bothered to put it in jars. So every single time that you try to sell to somebody, always just upsell them. So like for really expensive product here like this, you might not be able to get away with upselling it in jars only like this. It probably won't work out. That one did apparently. But this other one here, like chances are this person's not going to be able to buy 5 of these. It's over $2,000. So yeah, chances are it's not always going to work out. As you can see, like that one failed, but always just be upselling your product just so you don't have to sit there and re-jar it, re-bag it or anything like that. It's just going to make your life a whole lot easier. So yeah, always be upselling your product. Even if it doesn't work in the late game, in the earlier game, I would highly suggest just upping the price a little bit and calling it good. But yeah, in the late game, just up your product amount to the point where you're only able to sell it in the quantities you want to be selling it. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna make more money selling product in higher quantities and then just simply moving on to the next day instead of sitting there and like re-jarring it or rebagging it or any of that stuff. So yeah, always be selling it in quantities you want by upselling. Upselling is going to be incredibly important. All right, guys, so the second tip that we're going to be going over here is to set up your dealers properly, especially once you reach the end game. This is going to probably be the most important thing to make you a lot of money. Obviously, you make a ton of money by selling to high value customers, but in order to do that properly, you need to have your dealers assigned to all the garbage customers. And the second thing, and this is probably even more important from a time standpoint, when you do set up your customers, you want to make it so all of the customers that you serve are all pretty much in one area. You don't want to be, having a couple customers here, a couple customers here, and a couple customers like down here in the docks, because then you're just going to have to go all over the whole map to sell to all of your people. When, as you can see here, pretty much all of my customers are just in this one little area here. And then I have like a couple that are up in the little houses up here, but it's like 2 or 3 customers maybe, and it's also right next to where I am anyway. But as you can see, all of my customers are all pretty much in one spot, and then my dealers take over pretty much the rest of the map over here, and this just makes my life a lot easier when actually selling to the high value customers. So yeah, this is the list that I have for all of my dealers here. You can see Benji. These are the people that I have set up for Benji. Feel free to pause on any of these people just to take a look and set it up for yourself. For Brad, I have these people. And then Jane, we have these guys. Leah, we have these guys. Molly, we have these people. Wei Long has these people. And then, yeah, that's pretty much everybody here for the dealers. So that is how I set up my dealers. So I only have to deliver in pretty much one area and my dealers take care of the rest. And the dealers make a ton of money, and then so do I. I pretty much make almost the same amount of money as the dealers per day. And I can get all of my deliveries done in about like a minute or 2. So yeah, definitely set up your dealers properly. This is going to be the most important part, especially once you reach the end game. So speaking of dealers, there is something about setting up your dealer's inventory that's going to help you out quite a bit. So the first thing is going to be only supply your dealers with 2 different products to sell. So in this case, you can see we have this meth here, and then we have some weed as well. So what we're going to do here is we're always just going to fill this guy up with 2 of these products, and then the other inventory spaces they will use to sell these quantities of items in smaller little like baggies or jars or whatever they're going to sell. In this case, ideally you probably want to set it up so they have 2 of the cheaper product and 1 of the bigger product, but this person's inventory is already full, so we're just going to leave it like this. But as you can see, we want to have 2 separate items that they sell, and then at least 2 inventory spaces, 1 inventory space per item that they can run around and sell with. This allows them to split the product up into smaller amounts, and you don't have to give them that automatically. They automatically will put stuff in baggies and jars, so you just hand them a bunch of bricks, and then they do the rest of the work. If you're giving them, you know, a full inventory of product, it makes it so they can't actually sell smaller quantities. And that's just going to make it so they don't sell as much. So you can see we can find this guy over here. Looks like he's right in front of me. We're going to do the same thing for this guy. So you can see this guy's kind of running out of product. So we're going to make sure he has enough of this stuff to be able to sell to people, as well as having some of this other product that they want to sell as well. So yeah, always be having, you know, these extra inventory spaces for your people to be, you know, selling, and don't just fill them up to the brim, especially with bricks or something, because they probably won't be able to sell that product as easily. So yeah, that's how I like to set up my dealers: 2 products and then 1 inventory space per product that they're selling. So the next thing is going to be when you actually are delivering product to your customers, it can help a lot to make a strain of weed with green crack that allows you to run faster. And there's a very easy recipe that does this. You can just take a green crack and a Red Bull here and mix them up. And this will give you energizing and athletic. You can also put like kook into this as well if you want. But I don't think this actually helps that much. I'm not entirely sure how the stacks work, how like buffs work with each other, but yeah, you can see we made this strain here that has energizing and athletic, and you can see we can run, you know, this fast normally, but then if we actually like smoke this, we can run like stupid fast with this buff active. So you can see here, we can now run like extremely quickly, and this is going to help your deliveries out a lot. It pretty much allows you to bypass the skateboard, and you can see here when we're delivering our product to these people, we can just come over here, you know, jump over all these fences pretty easily and then sell all of our product to these guys here. And then, you know, even without using the skateboard, we can run to this guy pretty much at the same speed we could get here with the skateboard. It just makes your life a whole lot easier when delivering to all these people. And yeah, I would highly suggest doing this when you're doing your deliveries. Just make, you know, a bunch of this stuff and call it a day. And yeah, as you can see, we're not really able to skate to a lot of these areas very easily, at least. Because it has all these pathways and grass and curbs and stuff like that. So yeah, if you can make this strain of weed, you can make your delivery process way faster and way easier. And yeah, as you can see, we can just get to all these customers very quickly. You can use your skateboard, obviously, for like longer distances if you like make a mistake like that, like I just did. But yeah, as you can see, this does help you deliver all of your product significantly faster. You don't have to deal with the skateboard too much. And yeah, I would highly suggest it. It's just super convenient to have this strain of weed for you to deliver product. So the next tip is going to be something that I think a lot of people probably know this, but once you get the option to buy, you know, you can like meet up with these people that sell you the supplies. You should still continue to do dead drops here. So you can see here with Salvador, we didn't max out his reputation exactly. It's like a sliver off if you could see that, but we didn't max out this guy's reputation specifically for this. We can meet up with this person, but it's actually better to order dead drops until you can eventually just get the stuff delivered straight to your properties. So we're gonna just order this dead drop here, and then we will go and pay the guy. Make sure you're paying these guys. We'll just dump some money in here, and then you can see here we will get a text that says this guy can now deliver the stuff straight to the properties. And this is going to make it so much easier to get, you know, these seeds and stuff. You just get them delivered straight to your properties, and you don't actually gain reputation when you meet up with these people. I guess that's the point of this tip is when you can meet up with these people, continue to order dead drops, because it is actually better to get the stuff delivered to you straight up than it is to just meet up with these guys and not gain the reputation. So yeah, make sure you are ordering these dead drops, paying the people, and then just getting stuff delivered straight to your properties. It'll save you a ton of time, and yeah, it just makes your life a whole lot easier. So I'm sure we all know about this annoying gravel path here past the bungalow. Skating through this is slower than walking, so yeah, it's pretty annoying to have to deal with that. But one tip for the skateboard is going to be, instead of just using the skateboard normally like this, if you continuously spam jump, you will always be gaining a speed boost every single time you jump. And by the time you do like 10 or so jumps in a row, you're going significantly faster than the maximum speed of the skateboard. As you can see here, we're going like way faster than the skateboard initially was going. And You can see by the time we get to this gravel section, if this guy doesn't block us, we can get like almost all the way through it and get past that very easily if you can get that initial speed boost. But this is more so important when you're like going up a hill like this. You can have speed boost to like get up the hill very easily, and then if you're going very long distances, you can just sit here and spam jump, and by the time you get across the entire town, you're gonna be flying on this skateboard. So yeah, always be jumping on the skateboard. It makes you go way faster. As you can see, we're going like really fast right now. And yeah, it's crazy. You can see we can just like fly past the police blockade here, and no one even knows what happened. So yeah, always be jumping on the skateboard. You can go inside. Yeah, always be jumping on your skateboard. You just go significantly faster, and it makes traveling across the entire town just a lot easier. So yeah, jumping is your friend. So the next tip is going to be about using the properties you purchase properly. I mean, I don't know how useful this is going to be for a lot of people out there, but you can actually do a lot more with these properties than simply launder money. Like obviously you can just like launder some money in here. But you see, we can also use this as a bit of a storehouse. If you have extra product lying around and you need to, get rid of some stuff on some shelves, you can just dump out a bunch of stock in here, or you can keep, whatever product in here that you want. So you just like pass through here, pick up some product, and then go do some sales. And you can also even put stuff like a packaging station inside of, any of these properties. So if you're the type of person who's going to be moving between, maybe the docks and the barn all the time, and you're going to be like, bagging up product or something like that, you can actually have the packaging station and some stock inside of any of these properties, really. And it just makes, I guess, your life a little bit easier when you're running through here. You can just pick up some product, go to your sales, instead of having to maybe go all the way back to the barn or all the way to the warehouse or something like that, wherever your product is actually stored. And yeah, it's all just going to be here for you to pick up. Or if there's a police blockade, say down there, you can just walk over here, put some product away, and then, go and deal with the police blockade without having to, deal with, going past it, putting some stuff away, and then going, picking up your van again or whatever you're doing. This can just make your life, I guess, a little bit easier. If you didn't know, you can put all this stuff in here. You could even have a mini grow up in here if you wanted, I guess, but yeah, you can do a lot more with these, houses and properties and stuff that you buy than simply launder money. If your workers ever bug out and stop working like this, you can see these people are just staring at the wall like idiots. You can always just save the game. I just saved, and then quit out. And whenever you load back into the game, it will reset each worker and, kind of fix them. So yeah, you can see here, we reload into the game, and those workers that were just staring at the wall should be fixed. You don't have to punch them and then deal with them, being asleep for a whole day. As you can see, the workers are now, doing something instead of, just being bugged out. So yeah, if your workers are ever bugged out, simply just reload the game, and it should fix them. Sometimes there are weird positions where, if your workers are like getting stuck on stuff, you might have to move a certain like piece of equipment, but a lot of the times they do just bug out and they'll be like staring at a wall or something like that. So yeah, if that ever happens, just reload the game. It makes it way easier than not punching them out and dealing with them that way. So yeah, make sure all of your workers are working properly. Alright guys, so the next tip is going to be using your handlers properly. Handlers allow you to do probably the most automatic setups that you possibly can in this game, but you have to be using them properly. So we're going to put down a bunch of shelves here. However many shelves, doesn't really matter. You make it through here, so that's good. But basically what you can do with your handlers is set it so you have a shelf that gets automatically restocked, or you have product that can overflow into the next shelf to allow you to store even more product automatically. So we're just going to assign our handler over here. We just picked one up in the night, and we have this handler here that's doing nothing. So we're just going to set up this handler so that let's say this is our initial output shelf. So we can have it go from here to the next shelf in line, and then do the same thing, have it go from this shelf to the next shelf, and so on. So then it's continuously going to be moving down the line until eventually it reaches the final destination, which let's say is going to be this shelf here. And then you can see here, if we put an item into this shelf, you can see that the handler is going to come walk over and automatically deposit the items from here all the way into this shelf over here. And if you have an operation that's generating just a ton of product and you leave it for a couple days and it's already like completely full, you can see this guy is putting it from that shelf to this shelf, and he's going to move it from this one to the next one, and this one then to the next one eventually until it gets all the way down to the end. And as you can see, if this is your end product shelf, this is going to be able to store a ton of items compared to just a singular or maybe just 2 shelves. And yeah, as you can see, they get kind of weird where they can like pick stuff up to the wall, I guess. But yeah, you can see it eventually moved these items over to the final shelf here. And I'm going to reformat this factory to take this into consideration, because this factory setup is not very efficient. It's really bad. I found this online just to like, you know, pick up some meth, I guess. But yeah, that is something that I'm going to be bringing into this factory situation, but not so much for storing the end product. It doesn't really create enough end product to have to worry about. You can see like we've left this for a long time and it only has 3 bricks or whatever right now. But I'm going to be using this for these storage shelves and make it so my handlers automatically restock my you know, these shelves here that are supplying items to the mixers here, because the mixers are really annoying with this setup. And if we can automate that even more, and we'll see how we can do this here in the end, but yeah, that is going to make my life a whole lot easier if we can automate that process. And yeah, using the handlers to their, you know, most potential, I think is going to allow you to get even more automation out of this game than normal. With just like a simple moving this onto the mixing station and moving like the product onto like you know, racks and stuff. You can use it to overflow products, automatically restock shelves that another handler is then putting into the mixers and stuff. And maybe I'll make a video on an update to this not so great setup here into a setup that is actually like insane. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, but yeah, definitely be using your handlers to their most potential. Have you ever hated the fact that you have to stand still to deal with people? Well, if you're doing a delivery or something like that, you can actually text and drive in this game. Just make sure you don't hit a police officer, I guess. But as you can see, we can like text and deal here at the same time by just driving around while we're like, you know, sending offers. And this guy's a peasant, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, we're able to text and drive at the same time, which is really nice when you're making deliveries and stuff like that, instead of just having to stand still like an idiot. Alright guys, so for the next tip, we're going to be talking about using vans as temporary storage. You can see we have our you know, bungalow set up here, and this place is pretty much filled to the brim with stuff. I mean, there's not really a lot of room in here for excess storage, but we can actually order one of these vans here, this Coke Seed van, and use this as a nice temporary storage option while our house, you know, doesn't really have a whole lot of space left. And we can just, you know, order the van here and then keep all the seeds in here until we eventually use them. And just use it as temporary storage until we have to reorder again. This place really only restocks the seeds automatically. And yeah, it just makes it pretty easy to store that there. And then we have, you know, some other storage options in here for other items that we need. Same thing goes with your actual van. You can see we have this filled up as well with some stuff. You know, all these shelves are full over here. And yeah, it just makes it so you can store a whole lot more items at each property until you eventually are going to be using them. And yeah, I would highly suggest doing something like this as a nice excess temporary storage for each property if you can get away with it, I guess. So yeah, always be utilizing the things that you buy to their maximum and, you know, kind of scamming the game, I guess. So you can see here, we have these 2 nice vans set up here. And just a lot of excess temporary storage that otherwise doesn't fit in our house. So the final tip is if your vehicle ever gets stuck, which you might be able to like weasel this thing out of here, but if your vehicle ever gets stuck like this, you can stand on the hood of it and just crouch, and it'll kind of like launch your vehicle a little bit. As you can see, we can like, you know, launch our vehicle. I don't know how much our character weighs, but Yeah, you just stand on the hood of the vehicle and crouch, and it kind of just like pushes it out of the way. And you can get your vehicle unstuck without having to go to the like auto repair shop place and like get it reset, which can definitely be useful at night when that place is closed. So yeah, always be doing that, like kind of testing it out, seeing if you can get your vehicle unstuck yourself instead of having to deal with it the old-fashioned way. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these tips, and if any of them helped you or you have any of your own tips, leave them in the comment section below for other people to check out. And yeah, if you made it this far in the video, definitely leave a like on it and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.